5 Russian researchers in the 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using experimental gas. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor the oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them. Since it was toxic in high concentrations, this was before closed circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5-inch thick glass portholes sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, oddly enough, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained about having promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents of their past. And the general tone of the conversation took a darker aspect after the 4th day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them where they are, and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They started talking to each other and began alternatively whispering to the microphones in one-way mirrored portholes. Only they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the only subjects in captivity with them. At first, researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber, repeatedly yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers that just thought he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about his behavior is how other captives reacted to it, or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smearing page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped, so the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it possible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen compensation in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people could consume at a very heavy level of exercise. In the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they were not to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase of calm response: "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers, and the military forces funded the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened, and the soldiers went in to retrieve the test subject. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subject's thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much water was on the floor was actually blood, and was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were self-inflicted by hand, not with teeth, as the researchers intently thought. Closer examination of the position and ankles of the wounds indicated that most of them were self-inflicted by the ankles, not ankles. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, while the heart, lungs, and everything else remained in place. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs to the ribcage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of the 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that they were digesting their own flesh, and they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but some refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber, and entirely begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on. Unless they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the subject put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out, although was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives, if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured, and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of morphine, and still fought with a concerned animal, or like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. When Her heart was seemed to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out, to the point where more air in his system than blood. After even it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach, and just kept repeating the word more over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving three sex subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The two with intact vocal cords continuously begged for the guest, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the three was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he would effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery, and he fought fiercely against his restraints when the gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through the 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight was a 200-pound soldier holding that wrist as well. It took only one more anesthetic normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy of the test subject that died in the operating table, it was found that his blood had tripled the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had 9 broken bones in the struggle to not be sedated. Most of them were from the force of his muscles that had strain on them. The second survivor that had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming, his vocal cords destroyed and was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested reluctantly they try the surgery without gas, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with the remaining of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically impossible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple: keep cutting. The other 2 subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with another chemical for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could not only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. But the chemical also cleared their system in an anomaly short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they were ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given: I must remain awake. All three subjects' restraints were reinforced, and they were placed back into the chamber awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. Researchers facing the wrath of their military, having failed the same goals of their project, considered the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, EX-KGB, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. Richard strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for a long-term assessment. And to everyone's surprise, all three stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious at this point all the three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all of his might. First he left, then right, then left again, for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired to an EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut. At the same moment, his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of a deep sleep, then flattened for the last time, as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flatness as the lines one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as the three researchers. One of them, named 3, immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point-blank range between the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed the gun at the remaining subject, still restrained, to the bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you, he screamed at the man strapped to the table. What are you? He demanded. I must know. The subject smiled. Said, Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you are, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide in silence, and what you hide from in your beds every night. We are this. What you sit in silence, we're in the process where you can go from not to our hill we cannot tread. The researcher paused, and ended the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined, and the subject's breathing choked out. so nearly free. Girls who went to the same school all died on November 7th, 2004. They all seemed very close to the main six from My Little Pony. What you read next is the description of these girls. Samantha Gales. She was a shy and quiet girl who got picked on at school because of it. Little did the kids at school know that she got beaten by her mother and her stepfather. She had no friends at school. Her only friends were animals she rescued, but her parents wanted to get rid of them. She committed suicide. Seems like Fluttershy, right? She used to Walters. She seemed to have an easy life. She was rich, beautiful, and had a huge popularity status. She had always wanted to move to Paris to become a fashion designer. Her parents wanted her to stay in California and marry a nice man. She got into a car crash and stumped her neck, killing her instantly. She seemed more like Rarity. Alexandria Matthews. Her father wanted a son, but he and his wife had a daughter. She was excellent in sports, especially track, after her mother, who was told she could have any more kids, had a son. She was neglected more. This made her more determined. She became so desperate, she started using steroids. This was a bad idea. She had a heart problem and that got worse from the steroids. She died in the hospital. Rainbow Dash fits best. Jamie Sanders. She was a farm girl. Her father had died, and her mother killed herself. Her brother, sister, and herself all lived on a farm with their grandma. Her aunt from Manhattan offered money, but they never took it. She always had side jobs to keep her family going. She died when she fell into a wood chipper. Does that come to mind? Katherine Jackson. When she was younger, her mother was murdered by her father, who then killed himself. She had made foster homes, but no one cared about her. She soon began dressing in over-the-top clothing and would act up during class. Most told her she could fly, so she jumped off a building and died. Lauren Foster originally designed Pinkie Pie as a Pegasus. Cynthia Little. A student who always had good grades, her older brother was also a genius. She studied a lot and never really hung out with friends. When school for the gifted started, it interested her. The pressure was high. She barely slept or ate. When she took the test, she resorted to cheating. When she was caught, her parents couldn't believe what she did. She killed herself to save her parents from having an imperfect daughter. Now think about the characters on the show. Fluttershy is great with her animals. Rarity is a fashion designer. Rainbow Dash is great at sports. Applejack lives peacefully on a farm. Pinkie Pie makes everyone smile. And Twilight is a perfect student and in private school. Maybe Lauren Faust wanted to give these girls what they always wanted. I bet they're happy. It's been a long time since I seen my mom and dad. I intended to see them. When I finally got there, I felt like a rainy cloud had been moved away from me. I walked inside with my bags, and then I saw my girlfriend inside, and I dropped my bags on the floor. And I asked what she was doing there. She said that she had nothing better to do, so she came here. That will explain the extra car in the yard, I grumbled. To be honest, I don't care if she was there or not, but I'm not sure if she was there to ruin my summer. I'm sure she was. I guess I didn't complain too much because she was bored and didn't want to stay with her. Sorry, excuses for parents. That afternoon, I was hanging up my clothes, singing my favorite song, I Am a Psycho, and my girlfriend walked in and I hung my head so that my hair covered my face, and said, "A great day to enjoy summer. Not with you," I mumbled. And with that, I left. My dad was sitting at the table asking what was for dinner. Don't ask, Mom. And how about you cook after you saying that how much of a great chef you are? It seemed to me like I was about to kill me, but he knew if he did, he wished that it was never born. That night I had a dream, a weird one. I was walking down a long hallway and came up to this big room in the shape of a circle. A man dressed in a coat with a hood covered his face came up to me and said, "Be grateful for what you had, for it can be all taken away from you in a heartbeat." I woke up in the doorway of the house, and everyone was talking. And all of a sudden, the guy barged in and killed all of them. I drove up 5 seconds after, and with that same ungrateful look on my face, as soon as I saw them, I saw my clone look down at the dead family and said, "Huh, lost cause." I ran up to him and tackled him to the ground and started punching him in the face as hard as I could. "You jerk, your family died and all I could say is, oh well, huh? Be careful for what you have." I woke up again, this time in my bed, and I got out of bed ready for the day. And I whispered, "Thank you for showing me the error of my ways." My boss is not your typical boss that tells you what she needs you to do. No. She tells you what she wants me to do. Let me explain. A year ago, she walked up to me while I was working. I just got finished. And she told me to go into her office. She walked in behind me and sat down. And she said, "I've come to understand that you are not a problem with anyone. However, some people have reported you to be very difficult to talk to." I thought it was a good time to tell her, "Yes, but I don't think it's a big deal." She seemed to be annoyed by what I said. She leaned over to me, her hair and eyes drowning me in her beautiness. But I had to break out, but I couldn't. The last thing I remember is her saying, "You're just my type of man." Returned to my mom's house. Sorry. I should have started with saying my name is James, and I returned to my mom's house. I was so excited to see her for 10 years. My parents divorced when I was 5. My dad said I could live with my mom when I was 20. I wanted to show her that I was mature and not act like a little jerk and someone dumb around her, and hopefully get her to not treat me like a little kid. I got to her house and, wow, look like a rich person's house. I have to admit, I went inside and set my stuff down. "Mom?" I called out. No answer. Great. Drive all the way out here and my thought was cut off. Something ran into me. I looked. Oh. Yeah, Mom. "Hello, sweetie." She smiled. I smiled back weakly. Her blood-red hair and thin waist. Wait, she looked different from the last time that I saw her. Not what I... Not what I said, but she looked like she was 22. I wanted to know how old she was, but I knew it would be rude to ask her all that. I sat in my room silently, and I was wondering how I could ask her. Then I remembered she was pregnant with me when she was 20, and had me when she was 21. Since she was pregnant at the end of the year, so 21 plus 10 equals 31. She called me down for dinner and set a steaming bowl of her famous Japanese ramen noodles with chopsticks. I ate some. My God, this was the best ramen I've ever had. I went to sleep with a full stomach and tired eyes. I had a nightmare. I was walking into a door with people talking to my mom, and they looked at me. I just kept walking, and they looked at me with fire in their eyes. I woke up screaming. Damn, I thought. My mom rushed in and hugged me. Well, I guess it was okay for the moment. And for the record, I was in cover for my mom. That morning, I finally asked her how old she was. Rude, I know, but still, I was just curious. She smiled and said 31. Exactly what I thought. That's how my life started. With my mom. Have you ever been so excited to stay with your mother? If so, you might want to hear my story. I couldn't wait until I got off work. I've been waiting all year to stay with my mom because, well, I like to stay with her. I remember the first time I spent summer with her. It was hot. I didn't know until I got sunburned. But after all that, I had a great time. But I couldn't act like a kid anymore. After all, I was 25. I am 25. I had to act like an adult. When I got off work, I went home and packed my 3 suitcases. I know, too much. I called my girlfriend so she could spend the summer with her too. On the way over, I couldn't stop thinking about how my girlfriend, Haley, would get along with my mom, Jessica. When we got there, I hugged my mom and introduced Haley. Jessica seemed really happy to see Haley. We set our stuff down inside, and Mom made us some of the tomato soup. Wow! Haley exclaimed, making me jump. She started talking, and I went to my room. I felt like it was a Disney movie, about to open my mouth when my mom walked in. Damn! I thought. I fake yawned and she was Haley walking in as I was singing. Oh, I feel so alive I could... Haley, baby, sweetheart, honey, dear, She laughed as my mom walked in, also laughed and showed me the video. Shit, I said. That night I felt something demonic in the room with Haley and me. It disappeared for the rest of the summer. I just thought about Summer's bad dream until last night summer. I lay there in bed thinking, listening to the sounds of the city, when I saw Mom. Mom? I asked. She put finger on my lips and said, shh. Suddenly darkness washed over me. I fell to the ground outside. How? I walked through the evil-looking version of my world. I walked down the road, and a boy came up to me and said, will you share your light with me? I said yes, and he ripped out my left eye. I kept walking, till I said a tall man. And he said, who is the one you wish to harm? I suddenly became very angry. Jacob, a boy that was bullied from my school, and still is. I said, Jacob Woken. I felt his life get ruined. The man asked if I was satisfied with the harm. I said yes, and I woke up with both my eyes. It was 8 a.m. in the morning. I got up and ate breakfast. My mom told me that Jacob got killed last night. I packed up and left. we got back home, I heard the man say, "You're welcome." I smiled and said, "Thank you." The whole summer, I thought about staying with my mom. It was great, just like it had been many years ago. Ever since I was 10, I wanted to be there. Now 15 years passed, and it was still pretty good. But Jacob, how did Mom know that Jacob was a boy? I can only guess that her dream last night was about that man. So I think I can never actually think about. But anyways, yeah. I was sitting on the tile near the wood stove of my parents' house. The layout of the second floor was strange, because the cast iron wood stove was the center fixated on the room, with a stairwell descending to the first floor alongside it, and the cat sitting narrowly across from it. Across from the couch and to the stairwell was a long hallway with a kitchen on the left, a cluster of bedrooms and bathrooms, and a pull string ceiling from the ceiling that would open the trap door at the stairs. An all-alone home, constructed in the mid-1970s. During a pattern in California architecture, open concepts were popular, but still allowed a certain degree of draftness because, well, they were not quite fleshed out. On evenings like this one, you could feel a cool breeze at any moment. No estimated times. And cause you to check your peripherals and ensure you were alone. I, however, was not alone. I sat with my middle-aged German, short hair, as he sat in the bed with his cloth-wood base on the wood stove. A large dark unlit rug hung from the wall, just above the stairwell. I was probably 10 or 11 years old, able to tell reality from fantasy, and had just come back from walking my dog in the woods at the edge of my parents' property. It was around 8 or 9 in the evening, I would say. And the sun had been down for a while. The thing is, as the early fall had been unusually warm and breezy, bare feet, the cold wealth, I was leaning over my dog and scratching behind his ears, not sure what the exact order of the falling events were. But the entry scene is forever imprinted in the back of my memory. Even though at least 15 years passed since it. There I was, facing the wood stove, with a stairwell and long hallway to my left, and dimly lit along the diagonal expanse of closed doors and humming from the wooden stairwell ceiling fan. Sharp twinge in the back of my neck and shuffle in my peripheral. My dog jerked up his head away from my hand and peered down the hallway. A shuffle blended into my line of sight. I sent my eyes towards the bedrooms, and I noticed a figure which slowly moved and through the drafts and started exploring the hall. I was not sure how long it had been there, or whether it was slowly moving towards me. At first it appeared to me as a fluttering mask of cloth-like materials, fleeing about like a definite human that was at the first recognizable. A sheer split second of time passed when I realized its face, almost with creases and a solemn expression. Its layers of material were not unlike the exterior of a beggar, although far less modern. It seemed to acknowledge me, but not care as to why or what I was doing in the house. My back felt hundreds of pin chops, and my mouth at once was awfully dry. Its eyes held an expression of which I was familiar. Within moments, I understood what I was seeing, yet did not understand why it was there. Here, my dog, who was already turned back towards me, I sent my face into his side, hugging him as an immense strap pulled along me. Only seconds passed, and I pulled my head up from him, and again, sight glanced into the darkness of the hall, and the closed doors. Only this time, nothing was there. Good night, Mr. Braun here. So, I uploaded this video, and honestly, it took a lot of work to make. Guys, the point of the video today is basically, we want you guys to know that we hear every single, we always listen to your requests and we always narrate them. Now, don't feel bad if your story didn't get in this video, because we will upload more, a lot more. And just so that you know, we appreciate everything you've done for this channel. Every single thing. We have loved your content and the stories you submitted. And also, you can tell, Kenny and David were in here, if you couldn't tell. So, I'm looking forward for my trip over to India, or I forgot what it was, but I'm sure some of the guys will tell me because they sent me up for the trip. Anyways, I'm leaving in a couple days, so you won't hear me in the narratives. I'm going to do a collaboration with a really famous YouTuber, and hopefully this will benefit our channel, because he said I can do it on our channel too. So you probably won't see it for another 1 or 2 years, but it will be out, hopefully, and I'll be gone for a whole month, so don't really count on me. If you do hear me within the next video, that's because I've made it before I left. So, anyways, also if you want a shout out, in fact, there's a shout out that I want to give right now. There's a YouTuber that's been following following this channel for quite some time. the name of this channel is, I think, Flourish Treasure Conquest, and there's just a real, it's really cool that you know, it's just amazing that they dedicate their life to this channel, that they give us the determination they have to check out my old videos. It's just amazing that they do this. And honestly, I think that they're just really cool. And it's just amazing that they do this. Oh, I can't comprehend what this channel is doing for me. Because, as always, you know that the dedicated to this. I just hope that everyone can do this, and it's just amazing that they do this. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, post on the right hand side screen. And as always, peace, and always remember,
there's always a reason to be afraid.